Let's talk about nutrients for a second. Soil versus supplements. This is a big thing, even with colleagues that are who are my friends and very near and dear to me, and we're both playing from the same sheet of music, 99.9%, right, from the same page. We'll still have disagreements when it comes to supplementation, and you'll hear this. This is hotly debated. The current preoccupation with vitamins is totally inappropriate, and while vitamins are necessary, they are amply supplied in natural raw foods of our biological adaptation. These are some of the quotes you're going to read about this, that you don't need to take supplements because they're amply supplied. We're starting to find out today that our food supply, the foods that you're buying from Whole Foods or a health food store, are not as nutritionally complete or nutritionally dense as it would be if you grow that food yourself on your own yard with soil that you knew to be very, very healthy and nutritious. Let's talk about 3 hard science-based reasons that our agricultural-based foods can cause nutrient deficiencies. 1 is early harvesting, and we're going to show you exactly what that means. 2 is inadequate soil nutrition, and eating less fortified foods can cause nutritional deficiencies. And people raise their eyebrows in this last one. Eating less fortified food, and that means we should be eating more fortified food? We'll talk about what this is. Here's reason number 1. You know that this is where the plant that you're going to eat is going to get its nutrition from. The nutrition is in the soil in an inorganic form. You know you can't eat soil. These things have to go through the process of the plant. Here's how most people think they go in. They think that they get sucked in like that. But that's not how it works. Here's how they actually go in. Some things go in faster than others. The more macronutrients, calcium, magnesium, tend to go in first before the trace nutrients and the rare earth elements, okay? They tend to go in last. So farmers that are forced to pick early, they can't do fresh picked, because if they pick everything at the peak of ripeness, it'll never get to the store. It'll certainly never get to your countertop. It'll be ruined. So most farmers have to do this, right? The thing is growing, it's sucking up stuff. They're like, okay, we better pick them now. And they pick it before, let's say, enough chromium, or any chromium, has gone in any significant amount, okay? Chromium is a key player for blood sugar metabolism. So if you're not getting enough chromium in your diet, the chromium that your body requires, you're more apt to be susceptible to type 2 diabetes and candidiasis and things like that. So that's reason number 1. Here's reason number 2. This is what's supposed to be in the soil, but what if actually this is what's in the soil? Because whoever's growing food in that soil is not letting the soil sit fallow for a year or 2 in between, okay? They just keep growing and growing and growing. And that's what we tend to do nowadays. So if it's not in the soil, it's not in the plant. To drive home this point, here's some varying percentages of minerals in grapes grown in different soils. Look at the differences. Sodium, anywhere between 0.29 to 10.4. These are just grapes grown in different farmers' soils. Now, and I'll tell you that probably the higher ones are the ones that are grown on organic farms, because the organic farmers tend to take better care of their soil than the conventional farmers do. Calcium can range anywhere from 1.7 to 22.6% in the same variety of grape, and iron 0.5 to 1.68. Reason number 3, processed foods are fortified with certain nutrients that are lacking in the soil and the standard American diet. When it was discovered that people were getting scurvy and beriberi and rickets from lack of enough vitamin C or D or B12 that they weren't getting in their diet, the government just said, all right, let's spray them on the cereal as the cereal goes into the box. As the cereal is going into the box, they spray B12 on it. They spray vitamin D on it. That's why we don't get rickets anymore in this country, and we used to. That's why we don't get it now, because we're eating these fortified foods. The problem is these fortified foods are also processed foods and foods that we're not supposed to be eating in the first place. It's not healthy for us otherwise. So as you move away from processed foods to the foods of your biological design, the fruits and vegetables, you got to hope that the fruits and vegetables have enough nutrients in them from the soil. And now, but we're showing you clearly that sometimes they don't have enough of a certain something. And what's the most important nutrient? The one that you're lacking. So if everything is good except it's just not enough chromium in there, and you've got weak pancreas genetics, you can be prone to type 2 diabetes. So as we eat a healthier diet of unprocessed foods, we no longer get the nutrients that were being provided via fortification. So we have to think about that now. So I do recommend to take a high-quality multivitamin. This is a green powder. There's hundreds and hundreds of green powders out there. This is the one that I recommend. The world's leading authority on soil quality and soil nutrition, Don This is what he recommends. He's done all the due diligence on this. All right. Also get plenty of sunshine for the vitamin D. Get tested. There's an article on my website called Vitamin D and Cancer. That article explains to you how to get tested, where to get the kit from, the numbers, what you want them to be, how much to supplement with, etc. And it makes a recommendation for the vitamin D that I recommend, that I take. Get tested for B12 utilization also. The standard test, which just says how much B12 is in your blood, is a worthless test, yet that's what the doctors do. They go by that test. No, you're fine. The B12 in circulation might be fine, but your body may not be utilizing it properly for one of a number of reasons. So you want to do a test that does not test for B12. It tests for something completely different. But what it's testing for is something that, if that something was high, that the only one reason for that, and that is not enough B12 utilization. Only one reason for it. So you do that test. That test is available, again, through the mail. That's a urinary test. You just pee in a bottle, basically, and mail it back to the company, and they send you what your B12 utilization level is. It's called UMMA. That's the name of the test. If your UMMA is high, that's not good. And it can only, if it's high, it's only high for one reason, that you're not utilizing B12 properly. So if you're low on B12, you need to supplement with a sublingual, meaning under the tongue supplement, methylcobalamin form. And I recommend naturally a B12 to use. It's the one that I take. I don't take it every day, maybe once a week. You don't have to take it every day. You just have to remember to take it every so often. The most important thing to remember is a supplement is not a substitute for a healthy diet. One of the reasons that some of my colleagues are just so down on supplements, because the supplements they're talking about is the supplements that most people think about. Theragram, one a day, etc. But you can't lump all supplements into the same category. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There are good supplements that do have a positive effect. And people who I've counseled who were having a problem, and we got their diet squared away, we got their activity level squared away, they're sleeping properly now, etc., but they still weren't able to lick it. I got them onto that multivitamin, boom, problem went away.